What about Twizzlers?
Yummy!
Do you want a Twizzler?
Yes, I love Twizzles. Oh no.
Where so many roam to.
Boy, do we have an update for you. Hi! Twizzler, sorry. We hereby call this meeting of the Fan Ghouls Club to order. I'm Hayley.
And I'm Brielle.
Hi,
and
Brielle.
This is our...
What is this? What are we talking about today, I wonder?
Just a full-on fangirl session. I guess we're going to do our recap because we went to the Wicked movie.
Okay. She can't talk. She's too excited.
We went to the premiere.
So we didn't know this until Friday afternoon. We somehow were invited to the Los Angeles premiere of the Wicked movie, which was a dream that was but a dream, only as of last week. And, you know, we put in, you know, maybe like a D grade effort in trying to acquire tickets to this premiere.
I'd say I failed. That was a full-on F for
We didn't do enough. We definitely didn't do enough. But in our heart of hearts, we are OG, diehard, huge super fans of this musical, of Ariana Grande, of Jonathan Bailey, of Jeff Goldblum, of all of these, the cast, and just the musical in general. We've been so excited about this movie. And somehow we made it onto the carpet. We got all dressed up in our green and pink, and we got to go to the premiere downtown. And we stood in like those little like fan, they called it the fan pen.
We're like,
they kind of shepherded us into, or Brielle like sprinted into the front row of our box, and we got to watch as like influencers and celebrities, and then the cast walk the red carpet, take pictures, do interviews, and we got to meet almost everybody. We took pictures with so many. Insert montage. So
yeah. So we can just.
What happened for you, Brielle?
Well, look, I was overly prepared.
Yeah.
Because if you would have told me, or if anyone would have asked, like, hey, what would be like one of your ultimate like fangirl dreams in life?
Yeah.
One would be anything to do with this movie.
Yeah.
But ultimately, also, I have fangirled over Kristen Chenoweth, what I feel like is probably my whole life.
Yeah, as long as you can remember.
And then, obviously, Ariana Grande has been one of my favorite artists since like 2014 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Even before she really officially started releasing music, I'd watch her perform like Rihanna covers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, because I was obsessed when Victorious first came out. Anyway, so just the fact that she was the one to even get this role was astounding to me, because I was like, whoa, like what a clash of like two worlds for me. Like it was so cool.
Definitely.
So yes, like you said, it was a whirlwind of all of this even happening that we got to go. And then yes, we thought we were going to be ushered to the left in the back of this like fan pen area,
like behind all the other fans. We didn't think we'd even see anybody. We didn't think we'd be on the carpet. First of all, we thought, you know how these you see like red carpets on TV and on your phone, and there's like a bunch of crazed fans behind like the metal like bars, like the metal barricades. And I'm like, okay, maybe we'll get lucky and like kind of find ourselves in the middle of that, see the backs of them as they're going in. But no, we should have brought a tiny mic. We could have done a whole ass thing for ourselves.
I know.
We just had no idea we were going to be so up close and personal with everybody.
All. Yeah, so we thought we were going to get like ushered to the back, but then this one woman was like, no, you can head that way. And the second I saw her arm movement slightly go this way, I didn't know I could run in those shoes, but I did.
Yeah, you booked it.
I was so excited because it was empty, so we could just pick wherever we wanted to stand.
And I feel like the people that ended up behind us were so pissed, but we all made friends. We were all friends with each other by the end of the night.
But also, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were airdropping our pics and videos to each other. It's fine.
Yeah, you got a beautiful selfie with a couple of them behind you with Ariana. Yeah, so you're welcome.
We look like we're best friends.
We were.
Didn't get any of their names.
No. One was iPhone like 275 or something.
Angel was one of them, I think. Anyway.
Look, I also looked like that girl. And I think they all were being polite and recognizing that. Because I did show up holding my Ariana Grande Sweetener vinyl in one hand. Mm-hmm. Draped over that was my popular pink t-shirt from the OG Broadway show.
Vintage.
Yes. Like, 2003. And so my hope of all hopes was, I don't know, if we get to meet some of them, how great. But, like, I'm just going to bring them. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we figured Ariana would be there. Maybe we'd get to see her. Maybe I'd be lucky enough to have her sign it. Mm-hmm. And then also in my back of my mind, we were like, there's the slightest chance Kristen and Idina might be there.
Because I saw that they were at some of the press events the days following up. Mm-hmm. But then you were like, well, Idina is also on tour. And so, we weren't sure. And they didn't even show up. We figured the cast would be last, and they weren't even there when the cast walked. So we were like, kind of gave up on Kristen and Idina. And
then little Kristen, you see her blonde head start bopping around.
We see a very sparkly dress.
God, she's beautiful.
And bright, beautiful blonde hair.
Anyway, yes. But Ari was so sweet and so cute. She took pictures with so many people.
They took their time on that carpet.
I know.
They arrived early.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we were with the cast on the carpet for an hour.
At least.
So we started. Well, we'll save the good story for last.
Okay.
This is the carpet portion because this was the majority. I mean, as long as we sat and watched the movie, longer.
We stood there for hours.
So we're sort of in the front, and then we're at the end of this carpet section before another carpet where they pose and take all their photos.
Like all the Getty photos.
All the Getty photos are in the next section. But this is kind of where E! News is, and they're doing all their interviews on the carpet. And so they had the influencers walk first. And so we got to see a ton of our favorite influencers that we've been following forever now. And, it's funny that it's just as exciting to see a lot of them as it is to see some of these bigger celebrities.
But we were practically the only two calling over some of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them, at least in our section especially, really were just Ari fans.
Didn't even know Wicked. Yeah. They were there for Ari.
Which is wonderful. Great. I'm so excited. This is now going to introduce a bunch of people to the greatest musical ever. But
this was a perfect event for us.
Yeah. We could not have fangirled any harder.
No.
So many people walked by and we were like, oh my God, hi. We said hi to so many people.
Everyone. People were giving hugs and just being so sweet. We took photos with everybody. Then we had the reality stars walk. The only one I'm going to name drop is the Queen, Stassi Schroeder from Vanderpump Rules. There was no inkling that she would be there. Why would she be at the Wicked premiere?
She was the one you were most excited to see.
I mean, this is aside from the cast of Wicked, Stassi Schroeder has been one of my favorite reality stars since 2011 when Vanderpump first premiered, 2012. I don't even know. And then you took a photo of me where I'm literally praying to her, praying in her face, you are my goddess. Something took over me in that moment, and she was flattered, so it's fine. But
you were possessed by the Fan Ghoul.
I was possessed by the Fan Ghoul spirit. That is for sure.
And when your Love Island couple walked by too.
Oh no! I couldn't even ask.
You didn't get a picture
to approach
with them
because I was so starstruck. That was hands down the most starstruck I was all night. Ariana Grande. I was like, Ari, get over here. Kristen, get over here. But Leah and Miguel from Love Island, the only thing I managed to get out of my mouth was, oh my God, the king and queen of the villa, which Leah Kateb heard and chuckled at, and I started tearing up. And then I froze like this. And all I could do was watch them and follow them creepily with my phone. And now I just have a strange like a video
of them walking.
Of them, you can't even see them because there's like a horde of people by that time. Oh my God, I mean, when someone is the highlight of your summer like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
It was exciting.
It was so overwhelming and exciting and just so unexpected.
We were so stoked to see like Straw Hat Goofy. He looked amazing. We loved his outfit. Yeah. But everyone just looked so we saw Oz vlog. She was so excited to be there. She was just like so giddy. Yeah. So sweet.
Yeah, everyone was just stoked, and
Harry Daniels sang for us.
Yep. It was crazy. It was just a talk about a whirlwind. Then finally, the cast started showing up. I think Jeff was first.
Jeff was the first one.
No, Marissa was. I think Marissa was
who we saw first. Yeah.
Marissa, who plays Nessa Rose.
She was so sweet.
Looked gorgeous. And they all kind of filed out one by one pretty quickly. And they really took their time. They went to every single person that they requested
could, like, first reach,
to see them. Jeff Goldblum especially. He was like, ecstatic
he
to be there.
He was just so happy to be there. Mm-hmm. He held my hand. Yeah. I didn't want to wash my hands. But he was just so sweet. And I went to take a picture. I like opened up my obviously the camera app and everything. And in those 2 seconds, he started singing something at us, and we were just like. And then as he finished taking the picture and walked away, he was he stopped again and looked back at us, and he was like, "Oh, you guys you're gonna love this movie. You guys are gonna love it." And I stuttered. I didn't know what to say. I was like, "Oh, you don't understand." And I was gonna say how much how excited we are for it. And he stopped me and he was like, "I understand." And I was like, "Okay, I'm so sorry."
But it is true. You watch interviews of Jeff Goldblum and he'll start crying. Everyone's talking about how Cynthia and
we'll talk about that.
But Jeff Goldblum, I know, I have seen him cry in more than one interview about how much he loves this story as well. Mm-hmm. And in that just totally showed on this carpet where he was literally went up to behind us. There were all these stills and just blown up images of the cast as their characters as the backdrop, and Jeff was going up to his and taking pictures with himself. And it was just so, he was like, "Can you take a picture of me with me?" And it's just so funny.
Ethan was in there forever. He was saying hi to, I think, literally every single person. He was so sweet.
Yeah, he took the longest.
I think he's the only one we didn't get a picture with, though. Yeah. I think because he was I
think that by the time he got to our end, because we were sort of the end, they started at one corner and then we were the last corner before they went off. And he looked kind of looked
I know.
It's new for him, this kind of thing.
First of all, we have to talk about, all I will say is that I've never seen a theater, first of all, a full, huge theater. I can't even imagine how many people were in there watching that movie when we watched it.
There was 330 in our group alone.
At least, yeah.
We were the fourth balcony.
Yeah.
Or something.
But the noises and the reactions that came out of everyone when little Nessa Rose in the movie says and just does a certain thing, and one of the first scenes of the movie, it's probably one of the cutest things I've ever seen in my life.
Everyone straight up gasped.
It was astounding. It was so unexpected and just
yeah,
way too cute.
Yeah, flashback Nessa.
Oh my God. But little did we know, earlier in the day when we saw her go onto the carpet, and we was stopped on our tracks at the moment because she was the smallest, little, cutest thing I've ever seen. So sweet.
And I think I had only seen in the promos, you just see a very short glimpse of her, and so she's just not someone I was expecting to see, I guess. And she was like the highlight. She was so cute.
Oh my God, because like all of a sudden like people cleared out.
Yeah,
it was like the parting of the sea, and then she was just there.
Such a little princess.
She was so tiny. She was so sweet. Oh my God.
Yeah, she was adorable.
Looked so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Jeff, Ethan, Marissa, and then of course I think Michelle.
Michelle Yeoh came out sporting a new blonde bob, which was sublime. It was. She looked amazing.
I know.
She looked incredible. She was so nice. And then it happened.
They showed up together, of course.
Cynthia and Ari came in together. And we didn't see them for the longest time because the swarm, like the carpet was pretty chill, like very chill. And like really just a couple security people, and then the
one security dude.
Oh yeah,
I have a picture I was taking of like the Shiz University sign, and the 2 security guards were standing under it the whole time.
Yeah,
but I was just trying to take a cute picture of the sign. It looked beautiful, and I was looking through pictures today again, and there's a picture I was taking of it, and he's just staring directly into the camera.
He was kind of joking around with people too.
I hope so, but he was dead serious the entire night. It was so
scary. Yeah, like he was the typical like huge like bald God, intimidating security guard.
Yeah.
By the time Cynthia and Ari showed up, there was such a swarm around them. Whether it was reporters, more security, probably family, like because Frankie and Joan, everyone was there. And Cynthia, they took their time with everyone just like everybody else did. So it wasn't until they were like halfway down the carpet we even saw them.
Yeah, they were crowded. So exciting. They were both so sweet. Cynthia, that coat thing she wore over her dress was
it wasn't even lime. It was just a very vibrant green.
Yeah. And
the feathering was so cool. She looked amazing.
Her nails.
She's so much tinier than I thought she was.
I did not realize that she was as small as like Ari was. Like they're both
tinier. Yeah. Just like short. Like she's so short. So yeah, we got to meet her. And she was so nice.
I know.
And then the big moment though was when Ari came up.
She's so funny.
We were just like, what? And so what happened?
Yeah, the Fan Ghoul.
How do you remember it?
I got possessed by the Fan Ghoul ghost.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Well, I think it was like she just saw the vinyl, so she came over. They each had their own Sharpie, so she was holding a pink Sharpie that she signed everyone's like posters and stuff for, and Cynthia had a green one. They're just so in theme. It's too perfect. So she saw the vinyl and she signed it, and then she was signing some other posters. She was like talking and interacting with everyone. She stopped, take a big like group selfie that you took, and then she commented on my outfit saying, because I wore a green top and a pink bottom, and she just said, I liked that you wore like both colors or something. Yeah. So in that moment, since we were making eye contact, I just said, fuck it. And I asked if she could sign a moon on my wrist.
Give you a little
and she
tattoo.
Did. So I got it the next day. But in the video, she did say it kind of looks like a banana. And so that's all I think of now that
So Ari gave you a little banana tattoo.
I know.
A moon banana. A banana
little moon.
A banu. A
banu.
It's so cute.
I know. And I can't believe she did it, because I figured they'd be so busy. Like, they just like wouldn't be able to stop and do too much.
No.
But she was just interacting with everyone.
I have a whole 15-second video of her doing that to you.
That's incredible. And she was so sweet with it all. And like, she was like, wait, you guys get to see the movie, right? Like, that's all she cared about. She just wanted to make sure we got to see the actual movie. And I was
My
so
favorite
excited.
Was, she was like, so, she said something along the line, so how did y'all even get here? Like, how did this come about? And someone was like, oh, Spotify invited us. And she goes, oh, fuck yeah, Spotify. So cute. Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, voice. And her like pink Dorothy dress.
And we didn't know till later about her purse that it was a little Toto like straw purse, which was so adorable. Oh yeah, and Jonathan Bailey, who was sporting, I don't know, it was giving Tin Man, and it was giving Dorothy with his little ruby slippers.
I loved his ruby slippers.
And he had, I think, I'm just gonna say that it was like a little poppy on his lapel. He looked so good.
I know. I loved his outfit. But I was laughing about your video that you have of him.
One of many.
Because he's the one that we have just random videos of, just like
moving around.
He's like not near us, but we just like have videos. Because we were like, oh my God, it's Anthony. But there's the video you have of he's over across from us at the other fan pen interacting with them, and just from the movement of the camera, you can tell that Hayley panicked when he turns around and starts walking towards us, and she just like puts the camera down.
I think I just would, all of my videos are so short because I have this weird thing. I don't want them to see me filming them, but obviously
that's why
they are celebrities and they are used to, like,
yeah,
that's what everyone does, especially at things like this. But I just feel so weird. Like, I don't want to see them to see me, like, filming them.
Yeah.
Or just, I ask.
Putting it right in their face, too, or something. Right. Yeah.
And, like, I mean, seeing him in the flesh is more fun than seeing him through the phone screen.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I did
sunglasses on, too. He was just so, like...
I did a little, like...
like, oh, my God. He was so sweet.
But then I was overwhelmed when he came over because he was like, do you want me to sign? Oh, we're going to take a video? Oh,
I know.
Like, didn't have a plan at all.
Know.
I was just like, you're great.
Hey, we love you.
Yeah, we love you.
Oh, and then after all that, I feel like the last one we saw was Kristen.
Kristen was huge. That was huge because, right, it was a surprise.
Yeah.
I think because we were still, like, in Ari land.
Yeah, it was right after that happened.
She was taking photos with her family, so that was really cool. We were seeing her interact. And Frankie came over to you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I yelled at him, and I was like, we loved you on Big Brother. And he called me a real one.
Yeah, he called you a real one. That was so good. And then he's like, take a selfie in the good light.
Oh, yeah, he was so funny. He was like, no, I'm not taking a picture that way. And
yeah.
I was like, okay. He was like, we need the good lighting.
Yeah. Right. I turned, and then we spot her, and she's so tiny, and she's just sort of like coming in, and she did a ton with Ari. Like, the two of them met up kind of in the middle. We're hugging.
Oh, yeah, there was like in front of us that we saw them find each other, and then which was sweet.
Yeah, and they like clearly were so emotional with one another, which was so cool to see in person. They took a lot of photos, and then it kind of seemed like Kristen was sort of. This was at the end of the carpet, like it was kind of time to start getting ready to go in.
I don't think she really said hi or really got to take pictures with anyone.
Anybody, and so. It seemed like she was gonna just walk right by, but I was like, I grabbed the Popular shirt with you, and we like hoisted it up, and I was like, oh, the OG, and she came over.
She's so cute.
And you tell her.
Like you just hear her high-pitched voice go like, OG. She's like, I have to sign this.
Yeah, it was so sweet. She came right up to you.
I know.
And signed it. She thought that was cool.
I know.
It's funny that nobody else around us, at least, but I didn't see anybody having brought
anything to sign.
Cool that they handed out those posters. Like,
yeah,
they were so organized.
It was so
smoothest event we've ever been to.
Oh my God,
100%. But still, I had this like gnawing feeling that it was all too good to be true, right? And that I didn't think we were going to see the movie. I didn't know if we were going to see the movie until they started lining people up to leave the pens.
Our pens.
And it wasn't until I saw them like handing out the physical tickets that I was like, oh my God, yes, we do get to go in and watch. I had no idea. So the pens.
We were so, obviously that's so like, you were just like enchanted for a couple hours of like so much was happening. Yeah. And so many people, and like obviously, like I said, at least in our section, we seem to really know the most people.
Yeah.
And just be excited for what the musical and the movie is, not just being on a carpet and seeing Ari or Jeff, you know, like the biggest names. So I think we were just like kind of in La La Land for a second. And then afterwards, once it died down and all the celebrities were like off and cast was just like really taking pictures in the other section, they were then starting to usher us out. And then that's when we like turned to each other and we're like, oh my God, wait, shit, we actually just got to watch the movie. Yeah. Like,
that was the most exciting part.
Yeah.
Like, hands down. And because it's just something we have been like devouring any and all like clips and interviews and snippets that we can. The fact that we already had tickets twice to see it.
It's been a full on game of like, how early can we see this movie?
Exactly. Yeah. We went from well, when it was Thanksgiving weekend to when it changed the date to the weekend before. And then we managed to get like a couple days before, I think on the 20th.
The 20th or something.
And then Amazon Prime released for 18th. So we have tickets for the 18th. And then this happens. And it's like, okay, I guess we'll call it manifestation. But anyway, so we got our little tickets, which are so cool to have now.
I know. Speaking of which.
Yeah.
I got this for you.
What is it?
I got you a little shadow box so you can put your ticket in it. And I printed out you a Polaroid picture of us on the carpet.
Oh my God, it's so cute.
So you can put your ticket in there and then like the wristband.
Thank you.
Look how cute.
And my little
they gave us
bracelet.
friendship bracelets.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Thank you. That's crazy.
I know. I love that picture because you see the carpet just say Wicked right behind both of us. It's so perfect.
It's such a good one. Yay! Thank you.
Of course.
I can't wait to put that together.
I know. The ticket is like, that's so special that they did that because they could have just like, again, ushered everyone in. I guess it makes sense. It was so organized that everyone had their own seats.
It was so organized and quick. Like we walked off the carpet and then just like around a corner and bam, there was like the green carpet leading up these steps to the giant like symphony house is where the film where they showed the movie. And like by then everyone was mixed in with one another. So like literally there's Stassi Schroeder again.
Oh yeah,
like,
you walked right next to her and you were like
next to me in line, and like her husband Bo, who it's like, I mean, I see them on Instagram, like I see them all the time. I'm like, this is crazy. And Stassi's like, I want to take a picture.
We walked right up the steps and we saw Frankie hanging out with friends, and then we saw like Raven Simone, and I was just like, what's up?
And everyone's just like mingling with one another. It was so pleasant.
We walked right next to Ari's parents, like into the.
Joan was like right in front of us,
and I was like, I can't be too close to that. I need
crazy. Like
they were all just walking. And I was like, I feel like I shouldn't be here.
It actually felt like a school play, like going to see like the school musical.
Yeah, they're just gonna go see their daughter. Casual.
We're like, of course we're not gonna bother anybody. Like they're here.
And I think like the exciting thing for us, like I get the more you do that type of stuff, the more you get used to it and stuff like that. Obviously, but it's just like, I think for us, of just like. Naturally, it's just who we are.
Yeah.
Of like, you were most excited to see like your reality show stars. Like, in just terms of like, it's just being excited about like these things and just like literally, I don't know, letting yourself just be excited.
Yeah.
Because I think like some people in our section, there was like this guy behind us that was like, I just like, don't act too cool to be excited. Like,
exactly.
Just be stoked like about it.
Everyone has been in this book. Everyone feels these feelings. Just feel them.
Yeah.
But also, I was going to mention, Ari has not been the star of many movies. So, like, Joan had to have been, I mean, they have to be over the frickin' moon.
Did you hear him when he first saw her on the carpet? He was taking pictures as the four of them and the family were taking photos. And he was like, that's my daughter. And
so
I was like,
cute.
I cannot do this. Oh my God. I don't even know them. And I was like,
adorable.
I am like,
it was just all so pleasant and wholesome. And we walked in and we were walking by this giant Emerald City Lego set. They had wicked Lexus cars. They had costumes.
We got to see
on display.
They're both so tiny.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, their costumes are like...
They're like doll size.
Beautiful to see
Gorgeous.
In person. Oh my God.
Just as you're walking in, all of this stuff is out. And then we get inside, and the one downside is there was no popcorn left, so we were hungry. You were hungry.
I was so hungry. But again, the second the movie started, we were like...
Sat. Literally sat.
I barely moved.
And we had, we were up in the rafters, but
yeah,
we saw easily. We were in kind of like the second row of the balcony, so that worked out. And then the producer, who is the Platt man.
Matt
Platt? Mark Platt. Mark Mark Platt came out and he introduced Kristen and Adina, and then the cast.
We were like, oh, how sweet. Like, the 2 OGs are here.
I know. The cast came out, and Mark may or may not have forgotten Ethan Slater's name, which was so squawk. I'm just going to pretend that he didn't, because that is my worst nightmare. Even just witnessing that is my worst nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was silent for a long... He even had to walk. He walked in a circle. Remember? Our Buck! And then he walked an entire circle, was looking to, like, Kristen and Marissa for, like, to tell him what his name was.
Oh,
finally got Ethan Slater out, and then he wouldn't stop, like, hugging Ethan for the rest of the night. Which was so awkward.
And it's just like, of course it was Bach.
He was just in character.
He was in character, yeah.
And all was forgotten when we saw Ariana's purse.
I cannot.
The Toto purse.
At this point, I was fully expecting her to walk out with, like, Toulouse in her arm or something.
Yeah. That would have been cute.
I know. And the purse was so cute. Yeah, it was... Oh, and the whole carpet. I kept saying, where's John? Like, where is the director of this movie? I'm so confused. Why would he not be at the Los Angeles premiere?
Yeah.
And then, so as we're sitting there, he's, the producer is introducing all this cast, and then he was going to introduce the movie, but he was like, oh, well, John couldn't be here tonight because his wife is in labor at this exact moment.
Yeah.
So he was at the hospital with his wife. So he couldn't come to the Los Angeles premiere of his huge movie. But in that, he then showed a video. John, like, sent in a cute video of him in the delivery room, just saying, like, hey, thanks so much for coming out and for the support. But he did say, like, yes, this is a night I've been waiting for at least 3+ years. But this, like, motioning to the hospital room.
My wife.
He was like, this is a night I've been waiting for my whole life.
His
and I was
5th
like,
kid.
I didn't know he had that many. It was crazy.
And he's directing Wicked. That's crazy.
I can barely...
Parts 1 and 2. That's nuts.
But it was really cute. It was sweet. And I was like, damn, he missed out on his own premiere. It's nuts.
He made it to the after party, though.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I saw, like, photos and stuff of the after party.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, not, you know.
Didn't miss out on everything.
Did it all. He continues to do it all.
That's crazy. Did she have the baby within the time that we were watching the movie? And then he...
God, I don't know. Maybe she had already had the baby by the time he sent in the video.
True.
I don't know. Anyway. So then
we got
watched
to watch the movie.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was okay. As I sit here in my sparkly Wicked sweatsuit.
Do you have any other, like, premiere event notes or anything before we jump in?
Oh, I should have mentioned this first, but a cool moment, because this just shows how little we knew of what was about to happen. When we were, when we got to where we were supposed to be to wait in line just to get in, to stand at on the carpet, we're in this massive line of fans. We didn't even know if we were in the right line. It's just one of those, like, cattle call kind of feelings where you're just like, this kind of feels like it may or may not go so well, maybe?
Yeah.
Like, who knows?
There was multiple times that a couple things happened that we were like, is this not, like, a guaranteed? Like,
yeah, like, first come, first serve. Like, because the line was long by the time we got there. And we're like, okay, well, maybe they're only taking the first 100 or something. So, yeah, the nerves were high until we were in there. But we finally made it up, like, all these steps. And at this point, we knew we were getting in. But then suddenly we start hearing Dancing Through Life. Like, Dancing Through Life is playing. And we're like, oh, cool, they're going to play the soundtrack of the musical. And then we're like, wait a minute. This is Jonathan Bailey. And you and I are freaking the
no
fuck
one
out.
Else gave a shit. And
No.
this is what I'm saying of, like,
This is when we knew
that we were the only two.
Yeah, we were here for this specific thing. Because we were like, oh my God. We were like I was borderline shushing everyone to be like, I need to listen to this.
We were like trying to hear.
Yeah, and turns out, I guess they were doing a performance in these like shiz uniforms inside. But we were like, they played it 2-3 times. Yeah. So we're like, oh my God, they're playing the whole song.
We haven't, like we got to hear the song. Like, and we were like,
so excited. Like so ridiculously excited.
And we couldn't hear it too clearly, but like there's a couple times that you could hear some different notes. Obviously, we know the soundtrack of the musical, like left and right.
Exactly.
So like a couple notes were slightly different, and we were like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so cool.
Oh, at one point, you're like, where's Bowen? And I was like, it's Saturday night.
Oh yeah, it's Saturday night. I know, Bowen Yang. That would have been cool to see him.
I know. But yeah, afterwards, after we saw the movie, they gave out little friendship bracelets. So cute.
Yeah, they were adorable.
It says friends for good.
However, we're also seeing now that some people got these giant goodie bags. And you know, I did see them.
Do you think that
when we were there?
Where?
When we were walking back down the stairs, I saw there was a table, and I don't know if this was like, maybe it was like going into the after party you got them, because there was like a table. I think maybe they were checking you in for that specific event.
Do you think like we could have gone in?
What if we could?
If we tried.
Honestly, if we were by the right people, like Jeff Goldblum would have been like, hell yeah, because he's our friend now, obviously.
I just would have held his hand again and be like, let's go, Jeff.
But that goodie bag was like, she just kept, I swear she bought all that stuff and put it in there, and she was just pulling it all out, because like many articles of clothing, REM products,
the Barbies,
like in this one tote bag.
Yeah.
I'm like, they got all that?
There's no way every single person got all of that.
I mean, you and I could have gotten away with getting one, maybe. We could have split one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know.
So that's the one thing. I was like, that and popcorn would have been great. No complaints, really. It was perfect.
I thought there'd be like pigs and blanket or something.
Like some
I
hors d'oeuvres.
was so hungry. Yeah. Well, we know for next year.
For next year, we're going to be walking that thing. That's my goal.
We'll figure it out.
Manifestation, baby.
It worked somehow this time, dude. We have talked about it nonstop. Didn't actually try, but it still happened.
We didn't try. You know, as fan ghouls, there's a lot to keep track of in our lives. Yeah. And when you're a fan ghoul, when you're a fangirl, like we're fangirls, we are truly like super fans of so many things.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, we really can't just focus on one. So, you know, we had to take our chances here. But just know, you know, you chose the right people. So they chose the manifestation genie. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Hot. The sweatsuit from Walmart is so hot.
Oh,
but
God.
I'm never taking it off.
Okay. Oh, God. We didn't even talk about the movie yet. We can't talk about much, so.
No.
Okay, so we have so much to talk about that's not even for the movie.
Ooh, let's talk about this. Required viewing before, because this is what we did. So before the premiere, you and I each did something different. While I was getting ready that morning, I watched The Wizard of Oz, the original Wizard of Oz movie. That is a must. That is an absolute must.
I need to watch it this weekend.
Even though we all have it, we have it ingrained in our hearts from when we were young and watched it as children. I guarantee you it's been a while, and it is so worth watching because there are just so many like little iconic moments that come back around in, well, the Wicked musical. There are a lot of callbacks and references, but in the movie they're highlighted even more. And like some of the way that it's filmed, you have to have just watched Wizard of Oz because it's emotionally going to hit home like that much more. So yeah, required reading before you see Wicked the movie. Anyone, regardless, watch or rewatch Wizard of Oz. Yeah, for sure. And additionally, if you have seen Wicked the musical, rewatch a bootleg somewhere before you see the movie. Is that illegal to say?
I didn't upload it. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything illegal.
I'm kidding. I'm just being paranoid.
Is that illegal? Illegal. Or if you've never seen Wicked before, don't. Because I'm very interested, and one of the things I'm so excited to start seeing is once people see the movie, I'm so excited to see reviews of people who don't know anything about theater or musicals or Wicked and what they actually just think of it as a movie. I can't wait to hear about that. And then afterwards, after you see the movie, watch a bootleg of the musical because it is so, like, when it's so fresh in your mind. I was, after watching the bootleg that morning of getting ready, some of the dialogue is exact.
Which is good.
It's so true to the musical that I was like, while watching the movie, I was like, whoa, wait, I literally just watched all of it. Like, it's just so good.
Which, you just have to do that. If you're going to do, and I'm not trying to be a purist or anything here.
You can be.
But take, the first thing that pops in my mind is The Last of Us, which I am in that other camp where I did not play the game. Loved it just the same. People who did play the game appreciate and love the show just as much because it is so true to the source material. And I think it would just, if something that is that beloved and so iconic, you just have to do that and try and make it, all you can do is try and make it bigger and more cinematic, you know? Yeah. Anything else you think? You don't have to have read the book or anything. I've never read the book.
I don't know how someone as in the creators and writers and Stephen Schwartz and everyone read that book and was like, wow, let's create a musical.
I know.
And this musical came from that book. It's very different. But, and like I told you after we watched it, I was like, I feel like it's just so accurate that I felt like I've seen this movie before because it was just so, but also obviously had new things and a new take and a new perspective that you don't get from a stage show. And obviously, like, theater acting is just so much more, you know,
yeah,
big.
There was some added weight to it, like to the story.
There's specifically parts. One of the biggest things that they added, non-spoilery-ish, of just that, like, things that they added to understanding Elphaba's upbringing more.
Oh, yeah.
Changed and just gave some the reasonings that she does certain things now just so much more depth. It was just even more heartbreaking, of course, but it was just like, while watching that, the second I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's gonna make all of the later stuff hurt so much more.
I know. They gave both main characters so much more depth, I thought, and their reasonings for doing the things that they do to each other, with each other. And in the end, just make it so much more emotional. And the musical is already so emotional, but to have a part one end where it ends, and it really feels like finite.
It's its own movie,
Yeah, it really feels like its own movie, standalone. It does a perfect blend of both. Like, it can end and be on its own, and it's a perfect movie, but it leaves you wanting more at the same time, and it sets everything up perfectly for the next part.
That's the magic of, like, understanding and rewatching Wizard of Oz before going into it. It makes that it's an ending, and it feels like its own ending, but it's also a cliffhanger. It's the end of Act 1.
Yeah.
You know, a whole second act is about to come. It makes that cliffhanger of the end of this first movie so much more interesting, because you know what's in Wizard of Oz, what's going to happen with this Wicked Witch. So you're like, how are we going to get there?
You know what's insane, though? This exact, like you said, how it's set up, it's almost like Wizard of Oz is part one. And then we go straight into Wicked part one. And it's almost just like a continuation. But now it's almost like this trilogy almost of movies that go together so well.
Well, yeah, like, because it's just all about understanding what happened on the other side of the curtain.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah. I know.
But, when you So that's why it's so cool to watch Wizard of Oz, because it's just like, whoa, like I forget how deeply intertwined they are and how many references there are.
That's why I'm like, movie part 2 is going to be insane.
Yeah. The sets alone like pay just great homage to the first movie. Perfect homage. Munchkinland. Oh with the swirly floor of the yellow brick road and everything. It's just so perfect. Yeah, it feels nostalgic. It feels so nostalgic, but so new.
Yeah.
And fresh.
Yeah. And just obviously it's part 1 is the same length as the full musical.
Yeah.
But watching it, I feel like I wasn't sitting there thinking the whole time like, wow, they've added so much new stuff. Like it just perfectly was its own thing, that it just blended and worked and flowed so well that it wasn't until we finished it and I was trying to really think like, wait, what was added that made this so much longer?
I know. Because
it just was so clean.
It was so cleanly done. And right, the whole thing was so familiar. They expanded just the
smallest moments. And that's like in the end, it was like the thing that they expanded was just more depth of each of these characters. Even Madame Horrible. She's a character in the musical you pretty much kind of throw off to the side sometimes and don't really think too much about. But I feel like already now seeing this movie, I understand how important of a character she is in the musical that you don't really ever think about.
They give every character a full arc. Everyone has a very full arc, even in just the first movie. Oh, so cool. Yeah, how can we even...
Non-spoilery.
The performances are
out of this world. Musical numbers.
I was just on the edge of my seat, like enjoying each number, but then also just being so excited for the next one. Like I know what's coming next, so I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to see Jonathan as Fiero and all of this. And
I posted a TikTok on ours like a month 2 ago of just saying like I really don't know if I'll be okay like witnessing Dancing Through Life, and I barely held on.
Oh, I know.
And it is 10 minutes.
Yep.
Plus
another 3-minute song moment.
Like if you count the Glinda and Elphaba's moment.
Yeah.
And it's just
the part that everyone has seen from the trailers of like the spinning library.
The coolest.
That what you see in the trailers isn't even, it truly is a tiny glimpse. I mean, it's just it's huge. This number is huge and he's doing everything. It's crazy. And I can't wait for that behind the scene, the making of to come out next week too, on Tuesday, I think.
Oh my god,
on the
yes.
19th. I'm just, because we know that it's almost all practical sets. Like, how did they make that number specifically?
He just released something, like an interview today or something. He said that was like a full week just doing that.
Crazy.
2 minutes of that song.
Yeah.
Was like a full week.
I believe it.
Of like, it's a spinning set, and he said it was like street performers and like parkour, like runners and stuff, like, because they were doing
I believe that.
the craziest stuff.
Yeah. That's so cool.
I know.
Okay, yeah. Because it looks like something no one could possibly could possibly do.
It looks like all of it should be fake.
Yeah. Because I think we're now inclined to believe that everything is CGI. Nothing is practically done anymore. And, since Barbie came out, and Barbie had all those awesome practical sets, which was added so much to the movie. I'm so glad that they spent however many millions of dollars to do it for this, because you can feel it.
Yeah.
It's almost like you can't believe it, but you see it and you feel it. And it's like, oh my God, that's so amazing.
I know.
Like Shiz is a whole place.
Shit, like that is one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. It's just the whole school, and they showed so much of it, like you said.
It's not just like, here's one classroom, here's one dorm, and that's it. Like,
The Wizard and I.
Exactly.
Oh,
she goes into
God.
all these different areas that all look different. And they're all practical.
It really is like Harry Potter on like fairy tale crack. Like it is just colorful. Yeah. That's the other thing. People have been saying like they're worried it's not going to be colorful enough or something. Oh. I was like blown away from the first second of like how even No One Mourns the Wicked in general. It's just like, what the...
Yeah, people are judging. I've seen this. Someone did this video. This guy did this video of this like stills of Wizard of Oz. In the remastered Technicolor, and then stills from like, I think it's like some softer moments between Glinda and Elphaba.
You mean the depressing, of course, non-colorful moments?
Yes, and it's like you can't do that. Like, I was also blown away to the point where I was like, this is... it's sensory overload.
Like, starting the movie off, which it's how the musical starts, but like with No One Mourns the Wicked, and how... It looked like a Dr. Seuss movie, but real life. Like it looked like it just was colorful and odd shapes and a lot of dancing and movement, and just one of the things we said right away. We couldn't form words right after we saw the movie.
No.
But one of the things we both
silent until we got to the car.
One of the things we both first really did say was that like the choreography mixed with the camera movements. Mm-hmm. Is some of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Yes. It's not just like you get awesome choreography, but everything's head on. It's movement like I've never seen before. And every number has a different vibe, like a different type of movement. And the camera is just everywhere and like getting the most intimate shots. And then like when it's important, it's getting the right shots. Mm-hmm. Like everything was just directed like so well and so well thought out.
It was just so pretty to look at, which is like obviously such an added bonus of like a good story.
One Short Day was like, I forgot that was, it's like I hadn't had enough, but I was like, I'm full, you know, by the time she even gets the letter to go meet the wizard, I'm like, I've seen a whole movie. This is great. I'm good. I could go home right now and be happy. And then I'm like, holy shit, we still have to go to the Emerald City. And that was a whole other world that they made.
Yeah. And like you felt their excitement of like, both of them have always wanted to see the Emerald City. And seeing their excitement of like getting on the train and they're going there and then they get off and they like start seeing it and like the way it like
opens up. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, the viewpoints were just like perfect.
Just that excitement of, like going to a big city for the first time and just like seeing some of those things. And it's just so large.
Yeah, there's like a shot where it like pans up the skyscraper buildings. And
it's all grand and it's all green makes me cry every
it's so good.
Single time. But seeing it in this like art form now too is like, oh my God, like it truly is something that they both have always wanted. And they get to like do it together, and it was just...
It's incredible.
It's too much.
I think, and if nothing else, I'll say that even the boring songs, like Sentimental Man, Something Bad, are stellar. Like, it's so good and like have their own agenda. Like, just so well thought out.
They made them very critical to the plot.
To the plot, exactly.
That like the songs are they were more meaty because it was very storytelling in those songs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So great job, Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage is not getting enough credit.
He hasn't showed up to any of the.
Why isn't? I wonder why he's not at the premiere.
I have no idea. He sounds great as a goat professor.
He does have a great voice.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Yeah, he sings and everything.
Yep. But, maybe New York.
We'll see, yeah.
We still have a weekend.
He lives in New York, right? So
New York or
maybe.
London. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll go to one.
Yeah, their world tour premiered.
It's intense.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. How many times have they seen this movie now? Like they've...
Well, because there's also the press screenings, like before the premiere screening. Yeah, they've seen it a lot.
I know.
I'm sure they don't get sick of it. I wouldn't.
Yeah. We did see it in a very, very huge theater, like staged theater. Mm-hmm.
It was not meant for cinema.
No, insane how big of a screen they ended up getting and putting up. So we still saw everything very clearly. But it was also not set up for that type of audio too.
Yeah, so the sound was a little bit like muffled at times, I would say.
Well, Jonathan's voice is just so low and deep and mysterious that sometimes we're like, what is he saying? Because it's just so...
Right. And like I was with we were cheering for every number, which
That's
rightfully
also,
so.
Yeah.
Which I agreed with that. Like, but I am very excited. It's gonna be like we're seeing it for the first time when we see it in IMAX on Monday.
In a nice recliner chair, like with my blanket.
I'm gonna be wearing my Walmart sweatsuit. And
shout out Walmart.
Shout out to Walmart. I'm gonna be sitting with our we're gonna have popcorn this time.
We're gonna have food.
We're gonna have food this time.
I'm like very excited.
And I'm so excited to see it. Has Kenny ever seen any of this?
Mm-mm. I told him I'm very excited to hear his opinion of just like not knowing the musical at all. He's heard me listen to it.
It's the best part. I can't wait for the boy. It's just when we all see it together.
Yeah.
And like,
I just want to talk about it.
I know.
I want to hear his opinions of like he's never seen the show before. And then it's touring in LA, so we're going to see it in December.
Yeah, I want to get tickets too.
So then like having him then see it afterwards, I'm interested to see his reverse order of it because I've known this back and forward.
Yeah.
Since middle school, like
I don't remember a time before not knowing the entire Wicked soundtrack by heart.
It's very true.
It's true. God, we were what, 8 when it came out?
Yeah.
Ish.
I remember knowing the soundtrack so well before I ever even got a chance to sit down and watch a bootleg. I watched everything online I possibly could before I got to see it.
Yeah, me too.
In person. I remember I knew the soundtrack so well. But the soundtrack doesn't give away certain things. Mm-hmm. So I remember I first watched a bootleg and when I found out Bach.
Yep.
I guess I won't spoil it for people that's never seen. Yeah. But I remember I was like, what? Like, because the soundtrack doesn't tell you those types of things. Oh my God. I know.
He's seen Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah. I do want to watch it this weekend.
I'm going to watch it again. Like, I think that is the best thing to do. Oh,
and the big mystery that now we get to put together because we saw the movie is that everyone's like, who is this person riding this horse that they keep showing in these trailers and stuff? Technically, they don't say it in the movie, but critical thinking, all of it. And Marissa was so endearing and so sweet. That, like, I'm also like, oh, my God, I can't wait to see her in part 2. Because Nessa...
Yeah, people don't understand. This ain't going to be it's not going to be a continuation of these happy fun times.
Any of them.
And the end of part 1 is very emotional. And, like, you can see, okay, things are obviously changing big time. But no one is prepared. I'm not. And I know this... We know the story, but I'm not prepared for what they're going to do.
Seeing Glinda and Elphaba's catfight scene.
I think this is where they'll be able to take some liberties, like with part 2. I think it's gonna be real, like, high drama. It's gonna be so good.
Part 2 is, you think of Wicked and you think of One Short Day, Dancing Through Life, popular. But then when, like, now that, like, we've been so engrossed in all of it, I watched that bootleg. I've been listening to the soundtrack, and I'm just like, wait, I don't know if I want to watch part 2. I'm not ready.
The TikToks surrounding the promo next year are going to be very different than they are now. It's not going to be the same, so enjoy it while it lasts.
What is the promo going to be? Like...
Sad Ari singing the I'm Not That Girl reprise.
Everyone moved on way too quickly. We have seen the one tiniest clip on that first trailer during the Super Bowl of Ari as Glinda in a wedding dress. That does not happen in the musical. So you're telling me we're going to have to sit there and watch Glinda sing I'm Not That Girl reprise in her wedding dress?
Unless it was just for the Super Bowl commercial. Yeah. We have a whole year to theorize about part 2.
The fact that we have to wait a whole year.
So good.
Jeff did so good.
Because he cares. Because they all care about the project, you know? Like, they're all so in it.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to John. Like, I think he really rallied everybody.
Oh, my God.
And made this what it is. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, think of all the artists. It really, like, this movie makes me think about every piece of work put into the movie. Like, obviously set design, costume design, choreography. There is not one mishap. Like, there is no stone left unturned. Lighting, like, everything you are noticing in this movie, because it has all been thought of. It's so awesome.
The set and the costumes is some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
The little props and set pieces that you can't even, how do you get that from the musical, you know? Like,
did you notice that in Popular so much is happening, first of all?
It is
it's one of the
huge number.
Greatest things I've ever watched in my entire life.
Yep.
But there's one of the things, like, she's opening things and shoes and dresses are popping out, but she opens this thing and then it looks like the makeup and, like, the blush she has set out, it looks a lot like R.E.M.
Yep, I thought that. Oh yeah.
The second I saw
it, has to be purposeful.
I was like, that is the cutest, like, the tiniest detail. So cute.
That's funny. We both. I know exactly what you're.
We haven't talked about that yet, but the second I saw that, I was like, that looks just like it. Like, the silver. It's so cute.
They make you know, all I'll say about Popular is, like, I just can't wait to get the reactions of people who doubted Ari, didn't want Ari cast, thought someone else would be better, didn't think she was good enough or too pop or this or that. Because not only does she make this role just as iconic as Kristen Chenoweth did, immediately, I'm so serious, but she also makes fun of all these people by adding the touches of herself so perfectly in the role. And that's all I'll say. But it's like, it's like if Inception-y almost, how she can be like, she has transformed into this character, but she is still herself so perfectly. It's amazing.
Even just the scene, the classic Popular scene before the song was just so, the pure interaction between the two of them. Because it's obviously not staged and it's so different just being on film in general, but, like, Cynthia got to do this, like, whole other version of Elphaba that you don't get to see on the stage, that I think, like, makes it so magical. Of Elphaba is supposed to be more reserved. She is supposed to be more internal. She is, like, but, like, with the stage you have to act bigger.
Yep.
So naturally a lot of people and a lot of Elphabas, that comes across in a way that she has more anger.
Yeah.
In that type of way, like, just to, like, be able to get a difference from
more
how
like
big Glinda is.
Kind of like more like emo kind of.
But yeah, she did so insanely well, and she got to do this vulnerability that you don't really get to see in Elphaba on the stage. That, like, even in that little moment before Popular starts, like, you really start to get to see Elphaba. Yeah. Because she's opening up to Glinda, so it's the first time we see her opening up at all, and it's just
in the scene that in Dancing Through Life, which we certainly can't talk about because that's probably the biggest moment of the movie. Like, one of the most memorable moments of the movie is that switch up. Seeing that up close is so important. Yeah. Both of their vulnerability. But in this, you see those things cross over to each character, and seeing how alike they are in some moments, and how they connect to each other makes you cry all that much harder. The end of the end of part 1. So right, that's like, seeing soulmates kind of coming together. It's so good. I mean, they work their asses off. You can just tell. So
yeah, The Wizard and I made me sob.
If you don't know, you should know how she has, like, the greatest singing voice ever. She's so perfect for this.
Yeah, the cheering was wild. I'm excited to watch it in a much smaller space and like get to hear more, because we were all just cheering and we were all just crying, and it was like, so I was like, I want to like listen,
take it in.
Yeah.
I know. I wonder what the movie theater experience is going to be like.
Might have to go again to get an even calmer.
Oh yeah, I'll like a Sunday morning. Go to the Sunday morning matinee.
I know.
What do you think? Do you have any other thoughts?
Just the like everyone talking about how often everyone's crying in the interviews.
Well, yes, and
but they just
you'll see why. None
of them were theater kids.
Yeah.
And that's literally just the explanation.
It's just a if you know, you know kind of situation. I see no, like I don't bat an eye at these. And I'm like, yeah, of course.
You never have given your all to your 10th grade musical.
Exactly.
And sobbed with your castmates at the cast party in their parents' basement.
And then sat for like an hour writing a 5-paragraph Facebook status about how much it all meant to you.
Because you got home at midnight from Denny's.
Yeah, exactly. Just feeling so emotion.
Yeah, they just don't get it.
We do. Aria, Cynthia, we get it. We love you.
It's just like, let them care about something. Like,
right. It's like, you know.
They literally just care.
It's like how Taylor Swift says. It's something about how if you love something, don't let anyone else, you know.
Yeah.
Make fun of you or get you down for enjoying something and being excited. She says it, being excited about things. That just says something. That says something else about the other person.
Yeah.
Yay!
I'm so excited to see it again.
I know. It really is going to be like the first time. I'm just as excited. I'm just, if not more excited.
Yeah. Like the sound. Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. We're going to be at the IMAX. It's going to be right in front. We're going to be dead center. We got great seats. Yay.
Okay.
So that was our very, you know, surprise experience.
Surprise.
The Los Angeles Wicked premiere.
Insane.
Yep.
So next week we can actually do.
Yeah, we'll do a deep dive.
Full deep dive review, comparison, all the spoilers.
That's perfect.
Great.
Love it. Okay, cool.
Okay. This meeting of the Fan Ghouls Club is adjourned.
I'll just do that. Bye.